Hello friends, I hope you all doing great. Welcome to my channel Words of Wisdom 2.0. In today's video we will discuss why couples, husbands, and wives fight. Most of us don't realize that there are patterns to how we fight as couples and make up if we so choose to work at it. Ask yourself, are you having the same fight over and over again? The Science of Fighting, according to marriage and family counselor Dr. John Gottman, a true expert in this field. 69% of marriage conflicts are never solved. Yes, 69%. That means that we are often having the same fight over and over again. This is actually good news. Why? If we have similarities or patterns to our fights, it means we are not alone and we can study, predict and course correct our arguments before they explode. Dr. John Gottman has over 40 years of research with over 3,000 married couples. He calls these unresolved issues gridlocked. What is gridlocked issue? A common topic that comes up for a couple that cannot be resolved and typically devolves into a nasty argument. The top 5 issues couples fight about. What do most couples fight about? Here are the 5 most common issues: free time, money, housework, physical intimacy, extended family. How to fix and prevent fights with your significant other. Here are some ways you can use the science of couples to help your relationship. 1. The new mindset. How to fight better. I want us to shift the focus to fighting better as opposed to fighting less. Why? Because fighting better is about having discussions, not arguments. It is about respectfully hearing the other person when perpetual problems come up. It's also a lot of pressure to try to fight less. We all want to fight less, but the point of this video is to deepen understanding, and that can mean discussing more. 2. Identify your issues. One of the most interesting discussions I have ever had with my wife was identifying our perpetual issues. We sat down and thought about the problems and topics that have come up recently and looked for patterns. Did any of them fall into the top 5 above? Were there any common threads or underlying themes to our arguments? The answer, yes. We didn't realize it at first, but we were basically having the same 3 arguments over and over again with different dressing. Sit down with your partner and review all of the arguments you have had recently or any big blow-up fights over the last few months. Try to identify the patterns under the arguments. Once you have identified your patterns, clearly delineate each partner's side of the argument. Do this in non-judgmental terms. For example, an issue could be spending. Husband likes to treat himself to little dinners out regularly, whereas wife likes to save up for big treats. Neither is wrong, but this way you know where you both stand. 3. Localize. Don't globalize. One reason that little arguments can erupt so quickly is because a small disagreement can be tagged onto one of your larger arguments and immediately explode into the big fight. You already know your issues and where the other stands, so it is very important to keep small arguments compartmentalized and specific to the situation. This can help you focus on the issue and keep the discussion as just that, a discussion. Since you know you have fundamental differences on the larger argument, there is no reason to bring it into everyday discussions. Try to avoid globalizing the other person or their behavior. Try not to say you always do this or this is your pattern or you never. Don't call up past arguments or offenses. I know it's hard, but it will only exacerbate an issue that is gridlocked. And by the way, you aren't the only couple who fights about your issue. 4. Start with agreement. If a gridlocked issue comes up on a daily basis and you need to approach it, start with agreement. Dr. Gottman noticed that successful couples who have been together for a long time master gentleness. They present issues in a soft way by never starting with criticism. In fact, starting with agreement is the best way to avoid an argument and start a discussion. Find something you can agree upon and start there. For example, if you have family coming in for the weekend and wife wants a hotel, but husband wants house guests, wife could say, I know we can agree that family time is important, and I know we can both get a little annoyed when we are overrun with nieces and nephews. Let's try to think of a way to make this weekend work. 5. Look underneath the argument. This is the hardest one, but the most important. Sometimes there are underlying issues beneath the gridlocked issue. I want you to think about what's happening behind the argument. Are there value-based differences? You might actually be arguing about basic philosophical concepts like someone's sense of self, power, freedom, care, what family means, what home means, or control. Look at your gridlocked issue and ask the question why 5 times. Be sure to get buy-in to do this from both people, so it is exploratory, not antagonistic. For example, wife, I am very upset right now. Man, why? Wife, I need more help around the house. Man, why do you feel that way? Wife, I feel overworked and overwhelmed with the stuff that needs to be done. Man, why do you feel overwhelmed? Wife, it just feels like it all lands on me at the end of the day. Man, why do you feel it all lands on you? Wife, I don't see you offering to help and that makes me frustrated. Man, why does that happen? Wife, it makes me feel underappreciated. Okay, now they are onto something. Yes, help around the house is great, but it all boils down to feeling underappreciated. If the husband were to make the wife feel more appreciated, perhaps thanking her for what has already been done, that might be even more beneficial than helping. Combining help and gratitude could be the ultimate healer in this fight. 6. Acceptance. Knowing your issues and where you stand can help prevent you from having the argument over and over again. Agreeing to disagree and naming the issue can prevent arguments in the future. For example, common issue: vacationing with the in-laws. Husband doesn't like to vacation with his in-laws. Wife does. Localize. Trip to Hawaii over Thanksgiving. Agreement. We both know we need a vacation and we are due for an in-law visit. Wise. Wife learns that the reason husband doesn't like to vacation with the in-laws has nothing to do with them. He loves the in-laws, but he wants more couple time. We are so busy during the work week that our vacations are the only alone time we get together. Acceptance. This is a difference in preference. It is not an attack on the in-laws or a desire not to vacation together. A possible compromise to recognize the underlying need for alone time could be to go on vacation a few days early before the in-laws arrive. Success. In other words, the more your issue is talked about, tolerated and discussed, the easier and less trap-filled it will be. So friends, do you agree with this? Please let us know in the comment box below. I hope you like this video. Please do like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching Words of Wisdom 2.0.